Hey my lovelies, Natty here, welcome. Today I wanted to make a video to talk about the importance of crafting your own healing path. So there's so many approaches to breast cancer out there, to breast cancer healing, and a lot of them give you formulas and steps because the person that has devised those formulas and steps has found that those formulas and steps healed them. Therefore, of course, they want to share it with others so that others can benefit from it. But there's an element of, and you need to understand that just because that person found their way doesn't mean that their way is going to work for you. You know what's worked for them, and what also probably works for a number of others as well, and may work for you, may not also. And there's reasons for that. So really there's no one size fits all approach, and I will bang on and on and on about this all the time because from my own experience I followed so many formulas and steps that were supposed to work and worked for loads of other people, but they didn't work for me. And I'm now beginning, well, not just now, for the last few years, I've really begun to understand why. It can actually be quite dangerous in some ways to blindly follow someone else's steps without tuning into your own innate knowing and guidance as to whether those steps or that formula or that method is actually right for you. So I'll tell you a little bit about my own journey. After my initial diagnosis in 2013, I did a ton of research. I mean, I was on the computer all day, every day. Not ideal, really, in terms of healing, but anyway. So I did a ton of research and I implemented a load of things. One of the books that I started with was a book called Cancer, Why We're Still Dying to Know the Truth by a guy called Philip Day. Now, it's a great book and it's got loads of good stuff in there, and it helped me a lot. It was actually recommended to me by a friend of mine who had healed her own breast cancer using the guidance in the book, and I thought it would be the same for me. Great, I thought, she's healed her breast cancer using this guidance in this book. I'm just going to do the same. Job done. But it wasn't. It didn't work for me. So why was that? Because we need to understand that we are not all the same. We are biochemically individual, which means that our bodies don't all work the same way. We have different metabolic pathways. We have different ways that our parts of our DNA are coded. And I'll talk more about that in another video because my husband's actually an expert in that kind of thing. So, for example, people say, oh, green tea is really, really good for you if you have cancer. Drink lots of it. Well, in my case, that's actually not true. So I've done, my husband does DNA profiled nutrition. So I've done my DNA test and got him to analyse the results. And actually, some of the what's called the polymorphisms in my genetics, which is concerned with the metabolic pathways in my body, mean that the substances that are in green tea can affect the estrogen detox pathways in my liver negatively, which means that if I drink lots of green tea, I can't detox estrogen very efficiently. Now, I have estrogen dependent breast cancer, so you can see where the issue lies here. So where was I? Sidetracked. So yeah, the point that I'm making is that the healing journey that you're on with breast cancer really calls you into your own uniqueness. It calls you back to home to you, to really understand your own body's wisdom and signalling and your own innate knowing. And it takes some skill to really reveal what the elements of your unique journey have to be. So while there's core areas that I have found that are common to everyone, there's actually 7 that I've highlighted through my own experience and through seeing others on the journey. The way in which we address these 7 elements must be guided by ourselves. So breast cancer can be a complete gift when we use the journey to learn about who we are and what our body is communicating to us. And this is something that I have been honing and practicing over the years, ever since my first diagnosis in 2013. So it's a real skill to learn how to do this, to learn how to reveal our truth. And then it really requires courage to follow our guidance, to honour our guidance, and to really develop the confidence to stand in our truth and what we know is right for us, especially when others are wanting us to do things differently. They're putting pressure on us. The doctors are saying we need to do this, we're going to die. And they're not always right. So it's really important that we don't buy into the fears of others, however much they mean well, because usually it comes from a place of caring about us. But usually that kind of pressure comes from their own fears. So it's really important to learn to be centered and come back to yourself and listen to yourself and have the confidence to stand your ground. So where do you start with tuning into your own guidance? Well, the main thing really is to come to a place of quiet and stillness within yourself, a place of calm, and that's not always easy, because the breast cancer journey and diagnosis and all of that can be quite stressful. So, but when you really cultivate calm and that stillness and quiet within yourself, then the answers can start to emerge from there. And this definitely isn't about trying to think your way through anything or trying to work out what information is coming from your head and what information is coming from your heart, because that's a thing we can get stuck in for a while as well. So firstly, it's really about learning to calm the system, calm the nervous system. And when you calm the nervous system, you will switch off the fight or flight or freeze mechanism, and you will come back to a place of centeredness. Now, when you come back to a place of centeredness, your mind activity, the chitter-chatter in your head, will naturally kind of start to just calm down. And it can also change in quality. So rather than being negative, it can start to be a bit more positive and supportive. But this is natural. This comes naturally from really cultivating that calm. So cultivating that calm and really learning to drop into your body, become present in your body, is where your answers are going to come from. Your body is amazing. Your body is such an intelligent resource. So if you can learn to listen to it, then you will start to learn its signals and you will start to hear your guidance more clearly. Your body is connected energetically into the universal field that we are immersed in, that sometimes we don't even know that we're immersed in this incredible field of energy, love and information. And everything is known in there. So in fact, through your body, you have access to everything, all the information you need. So connecting to the body and being present in the body really brings you into present moment awareness. And from a place of present moment awareness, you can drop your questions into the body, if you like, and then just wait to see what responses will come. Now, answers don't usually come as a thought that tells you what to do. So it doesn't come as a, oh yeah, well, you just need to eat this food, or take these herbs, or do this, or bounce on a trampoline for 10 minutes a day, or you need to go here, you need to see that person. It doesn't come like that. Well, sometimes it does, but it's quite rare for it to actually come as a voice in your head. Quite often they will come, answers may come in a slightly more unusual way. So in the form of sensations, or music, or a line of poetry, or in terms of energy moving within your body, or emotions moving, or yes, sometimes words, like I said. So this is really about developing and cultivating this relationship with your body, becoming embodied, so that you really have access to that universal field and the answers that can come from there. So I also want to mention another way that answers can come, and I have to say this is more usual for me. So what I've seen over the years is answers don't come straight away. So I might sit there and become still, drop in a question, and then it won't be until sort of a couple of days later, maybe when I'm chatting with a friend, my friend will mention something, and I'll have a body response to it. I'll have a sort of feeling of, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I might look at that. And quite often I forget. But usually a second prompt comes. So maybe a few days later, or a week later, I'm looking at a post online or something online, and the same information comes. And suddenly I'm reminded of what my friend said and go, oh, that's interesting. This is the second time this has come to me within a week, or whatever it is. I need to look more deeply into this, pay a bit more attention. Sometimes twice is enough if I feel a strong response to it. Sometimes there's a third sort of impulse, or a sort of tap on the door with the same information. And when that third one comes, I feel sure it's like, okay, I really need to look at this. And I usually look at it then and there. So, yeah. So if you need help with developing that present moment awareness, then I would point you to the freebie on my website, which is called the 3 Minutes to Calm bundle, because that will really start to help you cultivate that calm in your nervous system and start to shift you out of those stressful states that really don't do your ability to heal any good anyway, and don't feel good. So I'm going to put the link to that below the video if you want to go and check that out. I also, the work I do with women, let me say that again. So also, if you want guidance on your breast cancer healing path, if you want to craft your own unique healing path and you don't feel confident in doing it, then I have a very affordable program called Stop Stressing, Start Healing, which walks you through a simple but profound process to uncover all the healing options that you have available to you from the 7 core essential areas that I mentioned earlier, so that you can address these for healing. And then, once we have all of that information, I help you really hone that down to just 3 manageable steps so that it's not overwhelming. And so that you can move forward with more confidence and peace. And I also show you how to reuse this process over and over again, so that you always then have a way to tune into the next step on your healing journey. But also, by having that sort of regular practice and that regular way to tune in, you'll start to learn what your own guidance and what your own signalling is from your body. So, yes, and I'll post the link to that program in the, lost my train of thought. I shall post the link to that program in the, what is the thing called below? You know, in the description below. That's it. So with that, I shall leave it there today. I just want to end with to let you know something really important, that I am not a medical practitioner. I don't give any kind of medical advice. None of my work is intended to substitute for medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. I simply share information, knowledge and experience for information and educational purposes only. So you must seek medical attention if you are at all concerned about what's going on for you. So with that said, sending you much love. See you soon. Bye for now.